It seems that finally, after waiting 2 years for this comic book adaptation, Morbius is gonna be released on April 1st, and with that, Sony has released the final trailer and it really goes hard. It seems like they are laying it all with the most action-packed scenes to grab audiences, and in this video, I'm going to break down most of the details that you've missed in the final trailer. So with that in mind, let's get to the video. Now the boat scene. This scene was shown in the first trailer, and now we have a longer version with Michael Morbius, who has already transformed, smuggles himself after his encounter with the bats. We see him make quick work and destroy the armed men. At the end of this, we see Morbius in his full vampire form feeding on the men he just took down. I've got to say, he really looks amazing and really menacing as this full vampire CGI look. Okay, now to the next part, the mysterious cave. Just as we got a longer version of the boat scene, we see again a sick Dr. Morbius attempting to find a cure for his mysterious blood disease. As to why he thinks the bat or the cave can help in this is not revealed, but in the comics, his experiments with vampire bats is what turns him into the living vampire. This scene is briefly cut and we see Dr. Morbius trying to help the sick, even though he's also struggling with his own. We get a shot of a young girl smiling at him, and we hear a voice indicating he truly wants to help people and in turn help himself, showing the good nature of this good doctor. The previous trailers for this movie always showed one particular shot, the money shot as I like to call it, or many people call it, and in this trailer it's no less than about 3 of them, and then we get one here in this trailer as well. Michael. We then get a shot of the Horizon building, which in the comics is a company that creates most of the advanced tech in the Marvel universe and is led by Max Model, who is one of Peter Parker's science heroes. Morbius works for this company and is where he creates the anti-spider virus serum. We know there's a Spider-Man in this universe as this has been teased in the previous trailers, and hopefully is Andrew Garfield. I hope he gets to make his Spider-Man 3 and many more in the Sony verse or whatever they call it nowadays. So now we see Michael testing one of his abilities, which he discovered, including the Bat Radar as he called it in the previous trailer. As some people know, bats use echolocation to navigate and find objects in the dark, and this is more or less a heightened version of that. As most of us know, vampire and blood are like fish and water, as Michael learns that with all these abilities and strength, he must also consume blood, and this is a big problem for him because he definitely has to consume it or he's going to wither and die. This explains why he is seen in a room full of blood bags as an alternative instead of killing people and consuming straight from the source. In the next shot, we see another ability of his as we see him in full vampire mode as he's above the skyline in the night before leaping off in a building with beautiful lighting in the night sky. I got to say, this movie is going to look amazing despite it mostly being in the dark. That's why it's going to be colorful that way. Now we move on to the next shot where we get a bit of Al Madrigal as Agent Rodriguez staring at a hallway full of bodies in the train station. This scene is making it look like Morbius is the obvious suspect, but easy. We now get to see Michael's predicament as he attempts to fight the urge to consume blood, and as a result, he's drained of life and in obvious pain. We then get a shot of a woman being chased by someone or something. They are making us believe that it is Morbius. Maybe it's at the same location where he's surrounded by blood bags, or maybe it isn't him but Lucius Crown. So this scene might just be a misdirect. You also get a look at Emil Nichols, played by Jared Harris, talking to Michael. He's offering some advice about the monster that lives within Michael. We get another cool shot of Morbius in full vampire mode in an epic sequence, just showing a little tidbit of what we could actually see when it comes to the action sequence in the movie. Now, one of the most memorable parts of the other trailers we've gotten of Morbius is the introduction of Adrian Tombs, aka Vulture. It made people go crazy thinking about how this villain we last saw in the MCU in Spider-Man Homecoming was in this. Did it mean Morbius takes place in the MCU? But after Spider-Man No Way Home and the multiverse introduced, we know it at least has something to do with that, and here we see him again and he seems more familiar with Morbius. So in this particular scene, he's telling him that he's been given a gift and it's time to let go of what he used to be and discover what is meant to be. I don't know whether he's trying to form the Sinister Six in this movie or what, but it's interesting to see what his role is going to be in this movie. We get another demonstration of Morbius' abilities as in the previous trailer, where he's seemingly flying in front of the train, maybe as a result of using the sound waves of the train. Maybe the movie will explain how he's doing that. And now we have a shot of Martine Bancroft, played by Adrian Tombs, having a moment together. Hopefully I'm not butchering the name. With how they are presented, there's at least going to be some romance and type of relationship between them. I mean, it's a superhero movie or anti-hero movie, and with that there has to be some romance of some sort. And with all that is happening with Morbius, there's going to be a complicated relationship between them. And now in the next scene, though difficult to make it out, we do see Morbius in this frame breaking out of prison with his abilities. From the trailers up to now, we do know he's going to be arrested at some point in the movie. I mean, with his abilities now, what prison is actually going to hold him? Unless he has a weakness that they figure out and make a special prison for him. But as of now, they don't. And now we get another pretty interesting shot of Morbius fighting someone or something, which might be Luxus Crown, played by Matt Smith and suspected to be the main villain in the movie. We then get flashbacks of two kids in hospital beds. This might be Michael and Luxus in the same children's hospital, and that might explain their relationship and bond and some of the reasoning on their collision in the movie. In the same flashback sequence, we see young Luxus being bullied by the children and Michael is nowhere to be seen. This could also play in as to why there must be resentment towards Michael from Luxus, as he wasn't there in time of his need. In the next shot, we see Luxus all grown up with Matt Smith's character looking all pissed. This might be the same train station where the bodies are later discovered, and perhaps might be Luxus framing Morbius for it. He's also giving an intense speech about living with death and wanting revenge. If this doesn't clarify him as the main villain, then I don't know. But what I do know is that it's definitely not going to be Tyrese. We then see Martine Bancroft run through the woods. This may be the same woods that Agent Rodriguez and Simon Stroud are in, investigating. Don't know what is going on, whether she's being chased by Lucius Crown, whether she's running from the cops. It may be one of those two. After that, we get a few quick cuts of action sequences and then an awesome shot of Morbius surrounded by bats before revealing again his full vampiric form, with a line delivered by Luxus Crown saying, "Accept who you are," implying that after fighting himself and what he's become, he's going to have to accept it all instead of trying to fight or conquer it. Get near the end of the trailer, we now get a shot of Morbius and someone in a fierce fight. At this point, we are just assuming it is Luxus. I mean, he's the one being heavily teased as the villain in the story, in the movie. Sony in these trailers are just really trying so hard not to reveal who the main villain is. But for now, it is Luxus Crown. We then see a quick cut of Morbius flying into the sky surrounded by dozens of bats. After the display of the title card, we get a scene where Agent Rodriguez brings a bit of holy water into the interrogation room with Michael. As I said earlier in the video, Morbius is going to be arrested at some point in the movie, so when he's questioned by Simon Stroud, he brings up the Lost Boys, to which Michael replies with "Story of my life." If you guys may not know, Lost Boys is a supernatural black comedy horror movie released back in 1987. The trailer now concludes with a bit of action, a shot we've seen in the previous trailer, but still looks epic though, with Morbius destroying soldiers left and right. The trailer looks amazing, revealing stuff but not in entirety. For instance, we don't even know who the main villain is. We are assuming it's Luxus Crown, unless Sony pulls up a surprise and there's a villain in the third act or in the second act. We don't know. When the movie comes out, we'll find out. The story too is still vague but good, since you want to experience it all in the theaters or when watching. And most of all, What the heck is happening with Adrian Tombs? Is he a variant? Did the breaking of reality and the multiversal chaos in Spider-Man No Way Home pull him into another universe? Well, as of now, we don't know. That's what Sony is heavily marketing on. There were some reshoots before this, and I think Spider-Man No Way Home, when it came out, they had to do something, because I think there were a lot of stuff and that didn't make sense. So after Spider-Man No Way Home and the things that took place, they tried to rectify some of them in the movie. We know Sony and Marvel are going to collaborate in many more projects to come, especially the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, and we don't know what is the future for these characters. What is the future for Sony and Marvel? Are they going to come together and let more characters cross over? Now that Sony is in a certain craze where they are bringing Spider-Man characters or villains in the Spider-Man universe and making their own style on their own movies. I don't know what is going to happen in the future, but I really am excited for this movie though skeptical. I don't know how it's going to perform, but I just really hope it's good. So let me know in the comments below what you thought of this. How excited are you for this movie? Do you want to see Venom and Morbius meet at some point in time, or even meet Spider-Man? Because it's definitely going to happen in the future, but which Spider-Man? Is it going to be Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, or Tobey Maguire? That's left in the air. So let me know in the comments below all your thoughts. Leave a like for the video, it helps the channel out, and make sure you subscribe to this new channel. I'll be posting more breakdowns about movies, TV shows. I'll be doing top 10s and all that, leaks and rumors also. So please subscribe not to miss any other video. As always, Nerdy Sage here. See you in the next video.